Hello again, it's Mike Levin. Friday, August 5th, 2016 at around 8 p.m. So I'm making videos at 8 a.m. and I'm making them at 8 p.m. So I'm about to drive out to the Catskills and, I guess I got to thinking and I was thinking, who the heck am I talking to out there? I kind of know who a lot of you are, and my baseline videos, the one that don't have deathly boring headlines, as they sometimes do, is about 30 viewers. After a week or two, it usually gets pumped up to 40. Sometimes the slow languishers hover around 20. But by and large, my videos get larger views when I happen to hit a topic that people are searching on. It happened recently with Python Open With, which is it's with open. The with keyword comes first, and this was something that had raged as sort of one of these little, Python how do we handle this debates, because the pattern for closing a connection to a open file, database connection, whatever, what have you. If you have an object that needs to be closed, the syntax for closing it after some sort of try except, while it could be hand constructed, it turns out that it's such a common thing to have to do. It's a common pattern. So Python, the community that is Python, made the decision that the unique arrangement of words with open would do the same thing as those other keywords would if you did the proper try else, try except else finally, and yeah, believe it or not, try does have some strange keywords other than except in Python. To do cleanup work at the very end, and so whenever you have a pattern that should be enforced a certain way, but it's sort of tedious to cobble it all together every time, granularity, that is calling out for a extension or a special behavior in the API that expresses that common pattern and lets you express it with much less code, much more beautifully, and in the way that is appropriate for the majority of use cases where that is encountered, such as the need to close a file that you have open. So that got a lot of traffic because people search on that. It's sort of like a little bit counterintuitive, and it just shows how, even though a new syntax extension that doesn't fit the existing idiom would at first glance seem very un-Pythonic. There are no matching idioms that it would neatly belong as part of a set of. It still didn't really matter. The Python people went ahead and did it, and people are searching on that as a result. And there are all kinds of nuggets like that throughout the programming world that are really so important for the Python programmer to become familiar with. Certainly when you should use list expressions as your first line of defense when having to turn one list into another. I think I'm getting the habits, I'm getting it into my fingers. People talk about that a lot, getting it into your fingers, and I finally am with list expressions and generator expressions and dictionary comprehensions and all this other stuff, which at first I guess was a little bit resistant towards, because I was not familiar with it. I had never encountered anything like it in any other programming languages. It's like, what are these? And once you get into it, they're really nice, because it makes what would otherwise look like a nested loop into a non-nested loop, because the first loop essentially is looping against an already map reduced and filtered list. So, yeah, so it's always worth looking at where the Python folks have extended and enhanced and improved the APIs. And yeah, so where was this this video going? Yeah, learn Python, yay, yay, yay. Heading off to the Catskills to meet my daughter and have a weekend up there with her, probably at the grandparents' area, but we might end up at Spring Glen Woods. It has yet to be determined. Thanks for joining me. Hope to see you again soon, and don't forget to subscribe.